start out with some basic questions. So, when were you born?
June 23rd, 1935,
Where?
in Chicago, Illinois, Cook County Hospital.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
There were 5 in my family. I have 1 remaining sister. I had 3 brothers, all of whom are now deceased.
Okay. Have you been married?
My first marriage was to Dennis Rickman, and he was the father of my 3 children, who are Denise Rickman, Julie Rickman, and Gina Rickman. And my second marriage was quite a bit later, when my family was nearly grown up, and that was to William Cotton, and he was from Jackson, Michigan. Mr. Rickman was from Kalamazoo. My family came to Michigan from Chicago in about 1945, 46. And I was 10 years old then, and I came to Kalamazoo in 1950, about 4 years later, when I graduated from high school. When we moved to Michigan, my dad moved to a farm. It was about 100-year-old building at the time, and it was vacant and had been for quite some time. My dad was an electrician, and which is unusual for a black man at that time, although he was not in the union, but he had the skill. And so he had to rewire the house and put in plumbing, because it was really just an old farmhouse. With a large family like that, we raised chickens, mostly for our own consumption, and we raised pigs to slaughter for ourselves. We just had a small garden that all the kids worked in to raise vegetables for our family, for our own use. And then we rented out to other farmers in the area who lived there our 40 acres, and they would farm it, and then we would rent it out on shares, so that whatever the harvest was, we would get, let's say, like 1/4 of what the final produce was. I had an unusual situation when it came to dating. My family was the only black family in the whole area where I lived. There were no black students. I didn't have any black neighbors. I would say there were probably no black people within, to the best of my knowledge, probably a 25-mile radius. Came here to Kalamazoo on my own, looking for a job. How it affected me was, since I had such great teachers, I had really high expectations for myself. And where I lived, there were hardly any factories then. The only kind of work that I might have been able to get there would be doing housekeeping work, maybe cleaning homes. So I decided I wanted to go to college, but I'd never filled out any applications for scholarships, and so I knew I would have to work and go to school. So I went to Kalamazoo after reading an ad in the Kalamazoo newspaper, and they were looking for telephone operators. And so I went to apply for that, really not knowing that at that point there were probably not that many black people who worked for the telephone company. But I took the exam and I scored so high that they hired me. But I couldn't go to work until I was 15.